Well, let's switch then now to, I think a lot of questions that people studying leadership have are, what should I study? What do I need to know in order to be an effective leader? So when you think about people who are learning to be leaders and just getting started in their career, maybe at the midpoint of their career, what advice do you have for people learning to lead?
A few things. One, I would say, look at the people around you who are leaders currently and learn from them and what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Some of the most important lessons I learned early on were things I would never do as a leader. Um, they stick with me to this day, from my very first job. And I swore.
We're going to have to find out what those
Yeah,
are.
well, I swore that if I were ever in a leadership position, I would never do that, and I think that that's as important as the positive lessons because, sometimes there can be almost a fraternity hazing sort of mentality of, I went through the tough times, so I'm going to make that. Well, there's no purpose for that in in an organization, and so, I think be mindful of that. That even, if there's a bad example being set, um, keep in mind that again, you don't have to perpetuate that, and you can make sure it doesn't happen when you're in a leadership position. At the same time, of course, the good lessons, are very important, and things that, and many of those stick with me too, of things that helped shape me early on in terms of what made me feel better, what helped me contribute more, what made the team work better.
Can you think of one of those that,
Yeah, I'll give you
sure.
I would never do that lesson. One of my early bosses, had this mentality of you had to work late no matter what, and if you left at 6 o'clock, you slink out the side door, you know, kind of you had to be there, and be there late and show you were working hard. Didn't matter what you were doing. It was just kind of the being there. And it created a horrible, environment that people resented. And so, that was a little example of something of on that. On the positive side, I had a lot of very good, fortunately, role models growing up. But, you know, um, Al Gore was a great leader of his team and in several different ways. One, he was very good about congratulating people on good work and recognizing it and making you feel that he knew who you were and what you were contributing, but also that there's a balance in life. And he had a hole in his schedule, typically from like 2 to 4 on Wednesday afternoons, that was never explicitly noted for what he was doing, but he was not available. Well, it's because he was going to watch his kids play lacrosse, and then he'd come back. He certainly got his work done, but
He'd work late.
and he would work late as necessary. But I think, but that's setting an important tone and message for the team as a whole. Then too, that yes, you have an outside life. There's balance here, and we trust you to do your job, and it doesn't mean you have to be sitting chained to your desk from 9 to 5. If you need to do something else, you do that because that's going to make you more productive in the end.